A very good afternoon to this scholastic galaxy, my colleagues. Once again, we have gathered together here at this platform of WebEx meeting as part of our CBSE program on the topic connecting and communicating with parents. As far as these two terms, connecting and communicating, is concerned, connecting basically in what way, what sort of connection do we need to develop with them? Just like flicking a switch and the appliances are at work, electrical appliances, electronic appliances are at our work, at our disposal. Similar should be the situation whenever we communicate with our parent also. They also must begin to glow. Now communicating. How and in what way these types of connection among them with the teachers, with the team of the school will be developed? They are another concern on which we will come later on. And now communicating. Before we deal with the tools, techniques, methods, etc. of communication, what is communication all about is to be discussed first. Communication by and large is an act of making oneself understood, meaning thereby what should we aim at whenever we communicate to another end. We must not aim at only making it possible to be understood. Rather, we should aim at making it impossible to be misunderstood. Because the recipient in question are not the prototype. They are having different types of personality traits with them. And we don't have any magician wand to apply everywhere like panacea. Several types of WH family questions can be dealt with this issue, this topic, connecting and communicating with parents. WH family questions does have its association with these things also, like what, why, when, how, etc. What to communicate is also a matter of concern. Sometimes we need to inform them about our decisions and directives. Sometimes their achievements, I mean, the students when they register any achievement in their names, they are to be pampered. They should be pampered. They should be honored. How and in what way such type of culture can be developed? Only when we constantly interact with them. So, why to communicate? Again, the next question, why to communicate? Mere a typical relationship of teacher and taught official relationship is not sufficient to suffice our purposes positively. For this to be possible, we will have to go for out of the course interaction also, out of the table also, meaning thereby even during odd hours when our academic pursuits are not going on. Then also during those hours they should be contacted. But why to communicate? Why to contact them? Simply to establish a proper bond with the target group. Our target groups are our valuable students, their family members, their guardians in particular. They must go to the same tune with the intention in mind. We want to convey something to another end. Such type of communication serves our purposes in a very right way, and we can have a desired result. It develops a bond, a cordial relationship between the institution and the guardians. Now, when to communicate? When to communicate is the concern of proper time. Situations may be different. There must be a proper schedule for this to be undertaken, like periodic consultation of the parents and to the parents periodically. If we want to keep into our account each and every student of our class, then suppose if we have 40 students in our class, we can select 20 days. Hardly you will have to pay only 10 to 20 minutes. Two students can be taken into our consideration, and their parents can be contacted even after academic sessions while we are at our homes, keeping in view their convenient time also, the background of the parent also. Background I means parents are in different professions. A wide range of their professions are there. And everybody is not free for us every time, keeping in view their own constraints, because our efforts will then be a futile exercise. If we do not consider these things into account, then our effort will not serve the purpose. Now, how to communicate? Here lies the relevance of tools, methodology, techniques, etc. As far as tools is concerned, the very common way to communicate with them and very easy way on telephonic conversation. So, as far as periodic consultation with the parent is concerned, just before a little while I was citing the example of two students every day. We can snatch 20 days for this purpose out of 30 days, 30 or 31 days of a month. We can share our 10 to 15 minutes with the parents. Merely by passing information will not serve our purposes. And when we are in the classes, naturally we are leaders. Similarly, this leadership quality must be seen at the time of communicating with the parent also. In every set of discussion, one is the winner and another is the loser at the same time. How does how does he win? What does he win? And what does he lose? If we are able to making them convinced out of our logics that we offer with them, and they are getting the same. Suppose we are talking about the ripened mangoes, and they are thinking of the sour tamarind. Here the very purpose of communication stands defeated. How to communicate? For this, the orator, the speaker, the teacher concerned has to be patient enough. Listening will be a very good tool for this purpose. How so? And what will it serve if you allow them to speak It will develop a sense of belongingness, that they are being heard, not only being dictated. Here I would suggest the formula of 231, where 2, 3 and 1 stands for second, third and first persons. When you communicate with the parent of the teachers, the most important person of your communication is your recipient, that is your student's guardian. Let them feel they are respected. Let them feel they are honored. They are pampered. They are being heard. They have got a say. This will serve your purpose. And they may come forward with their grievances also at the same time. One should be ready enough to encounter such situations also. How so? Only empty glasses can be filled with any beverages. Let them vomit what they have to say. When they will be quite satisfied that they have told everything, they will be relaxed and your task will be simplified. You will be informed in between too many things to assess the cultural background, the happenings in the family, and everything does have a role to play here. This gives you an idea what sort of person I am referring to. And just before a little while I told you that we don't have any magician van. So depending on our recipient in question, we frame our communication. But when we listen first, we gather informations also. We find a scope for assessing the personality, and thereafter we can change our own communication also. But what to communicate? The main concern. Sometimes we need to inform them about their achievements, and sometimes for their drawbacks, for their mischiefs. Difficult situations and sensitive moments are also needed to be addressed sometimes, but certainly with caution, because hardly one is ready to accept when you blame something. Rather than blaming, it is better to be suggestive. Here you will have to play the role of a leader also. Basically, there are as many leadership styles as their numerical strength, because everybody is different and distinguished of another. One is different from another. That's true. But broadly, we can classify them under three heads: autocratic leadership style, democratic leadership style, and free reign. Autocrats don't believe in the existence of others. They begin to behave like dictator naturally. They think that people in general, the subordinates in general, the students, the parents are in general are big duffers. But this is not the case. They are our valuable guardians. So they become arrogant also. But when you apply 231, keeping them only at the front, then the subject matter, and finally yourself in the end, so was the reason I told you the formula of 231. It gives an impression that they are being honored, so they will listen you. And first, Let them speak. Your turn should be later, thereafter only, when they are quite satisfied with whatever they had to say. Now, what to communicate? Positives are to be championed first. Whatever our content of communication, they should be positive enough. Positives about a child's learning, child's behavior, their experiences, ability to mingle up with the rest of the students, reacting to the teacher. These should be our concern, but certainly with caution. At the same time, one should be open. There must not be any ambiguity in the approaches while we interact. Dear friends, in between, I have not noticed the things you mentioned here, but I am very much thankful to all the participants here who are patiently listening me. But whatever you have written, as I didn't notice to them, later on when I found a scope, I am coming to them. So we will discuss them later. And now, positives about a child's learning, child's behavior, his experiences with the rest of the students, interaction with the teacher inside the premises, when it leisurely hours, what do they do? These should be our concern, together with the achievements and mischiefs. But before we speak anything to them, we should think the topic first. Thinking in advance minimizes the mistakes also. Mistakes of several kinds, conceptual mistake, linguistic mistake, because we are their role model. They copy us. Especially difficult situations and sensitive issues are handled with care. At the same time, just to pamper them up, we can ask for the inputs also regarding their child. Here lies the relevance of active listening. And rather than putting before them yes no questions, we should offer open end question like those questions that can't be answered in yes or two only, and they will have to say something. When they begin to speak, we find a chance to grab something from their expressions, their deliveries, their backgrounds, their personality traits, which helps us in interacting with them later on. So, a patient listener becomes the winner. At the same time, high profile guardians can also be contacted of. They are to be dealt with very caution, naturally. And similarly, we have in our academic net those parents also who are at the margin, depending on the recipient in question at every time. We need to frame our communication. Sharing knowledge and experiences helps in child's well-being and their development. Raising concerns with parents, dealing with concerns raised by parents, These things build understanding and thereby we can win their trust also. Positive, positive partnership. What is positive partnership? Respect for parents is the foundation of effective communication here. Parenting arrangements. What type of parenting arrangements are there? Family type can also be taken into account. Blended family, co-parenting family, single parent family, rainbow families. Too many families are there also besides nuclear or joint family. At the same time, we can't forget that parents are also of varied nature. At one place, we find that they are from very elite class, high profile professionals, together with intellectual disability. Similarly, teenager parents, similarly, teenager parents, families facing different types of challenges, including economic ones, language difference. If there is a gap between the two, difference between the two languages, then interpreters should be contacted. Interpreters will suffice the purpose here in a very positive way. On the whole, if there is absence of communication, it will turn into a economic morass. 50. So, families facing challenges, parents having intellectual disability, these things will help us when we are in the know of the things. They will help us in developing our communication in the right way. Selection of words, phrases, items, illustrations, instances, they also do matter to support our logics, our views. There are three types of leadership I was talking about. Autocrats don't believe in the existence of others, so they will not allow the parents to speak a lot. This should not be the case. If the parents are talkative enough, let them empty their stock. I am of the view. Because his energy level will come down, his level of protesting then will come down. He will have a satisfaction he has conveyed everything, whatever grievances he had. So, such things in practical help us. Whenever they begin to speak, you must not only act the role of a patient listener, but an active listener also. How can you show it? By nodding your head, by a little bit of smiling, sometimes winking of your eyes. These things also do matter because you want not to speak, then you want to listen him, her. So 231, keep your parents in the front subject matter, whether it is child, his achievement, his mischiefs, his grievances, his behavior, everything in the middle, and yourself in the end, it will serve your purpose. Try to understand parents' perspective also, even if you disagree with whatever they are saying, you are not taking into account, you are not attesting it. Yet it is better to keep yourself mum first. If you keep yourself silent and allow them to speak, they will have said everything and now is the turn to listen. अब वो आपकी बात सुनेंगे. Now, effective communication builds understanding and trust. When you and parents understand each other, trust each other, you will be better able to work together to support children's well-being and development. This is why effective communication is key to establishing and maintaining positive partnership with parents and their other caretakers, because in some cases people send their words to their kinsmen also for better education. So we need to deal with those students also, guardians of those students also. So parents and their caretakers are in fact experts on their children. They know them more well because child learns the first part of citizenship between the kisses of mother and cares of father. Abraham Lincoln had observed. You all know here what does it mean, because his first interaction with mother, father and their family members, and most of the time they have spent in their families and they are here for only 5 to 6 hours. So before we address the problem of the students, before the parents, we must know about their cultural background, linguistic background. Everything is to be kept in account. For professionals working with parents, a positive partnership means sharing knowledge and experience to understand a child's situation, and it can lead to developing plans together to support the child. Respect is the foundation of effective communication. If you arrogantly behave in the set of discussion, then likely responses cannot be expected of. One should never react over the religious or cultural background of the parents or the students, their value system, beliefs. These are not the things of question. It, these should remain unquestionable in our discussions when we interact with them. Parenting arrangements, we have discussed different types of families like blended families, co-parenting families, single parenting families, etc. So in all the cases, just at the end, I would like to tell you that parents are our valuable part and parcel. They should be honored. They should be contacted with periodically so that we remain in touch with them. Otherwise, communication gap creates big hurdles for us to interact with them. Bhopal Union Carbide case was the just uh, due to communication gap only. So, in order to avoid disastrous situations to crop up, institutions and teachers should remain in touch with the parents and guardians. They are valuable, they should be pampered. When you listen well, you get more information about children and their families. Let them know you are listening and interested. Let them finish first. Sanjit sir, you all have shown a fair degree of patience and proper understanding in this set of discussion. Thanks you all and the end, although a lot of things have yet remained untouched. If time comes, situation permits, we shall discuss further. Thank you all very much. Attendance set is being sent and you can show your attendance there by mentioning particulars therein. Okay, thank you all. कितना मिनट कितना मिनट Yes. लाए है कि नहीं कितना मिनट हुआ Sorry. उनके तो नहीं था